Okay, hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Deborah for those of you who are new here, and for those of you who aren't, welcome back. So in today's video I am going to be talking about self-care, and I've titled this "Self-Care is Not Selfish." And this is something that I have learned in the past few weeks or so, and I thought, why not come out here and share this with you. The past few weeks has been so intense for me with the different things that I had to do in my personal life, at work, and other areas of my life, and I found that I was starting to get, overwhelmed with a few things, and I started to learn about self-care. And thanks to Joyce Meyer, she has a podcast on her YouTube channel. I stumbled upon one of her podcasts, and she has a lot where she talks about different things, and a few things I've been able to pick up on is self-care. And as liberal as it might sound, you might just think, over time, well, for me personally, I used to think self-care was something, when I'm thinking about self-care, I'll just step out, buy myself something quickly, do my makeup and other things, and that's me, doing self-care, or going for a massage, or buying a very good meal. Self-care, I've come to learn, is many things more than that. I've jotted down things that I'm going to be talking about here, so if you see me looking down, that's why, because I'm just looking at things that I wrote down that I plan to share with you guys here. So the very first thing, I'll just read what I wrote down quickly. Being a servant does not mean you have to say yes to what everybody asks of you. It is not God's will for us to say yes to everybody that wants to hear it. And that's a quote from Joyce Meyer's podcast, as she said. And that's something that really stuck with me. We as Christians, we find ourselves in places where, you want to serve in the church that you're in. Well, I love to serve in the house of God. When you're someone like that, it's easy to find yourself doing almost everything. It's okay to say no, even in the house of God, Something Joyce Meyer said in her podcast that really, really sat with me is, we all have our purpose in life, and most times we're serving. Sometimes we're serving in where we feel is our purpose in life. So this thing that I'm saying yes to doing for you, is that part of my purpose in life, or am I just doing it for the sake of doing sake? God wants us as Christians to be able to know when to say yes and when to say no. You need to know what God wants you to do. People pleasing is not wise. And that's something that sat with me again, because most times we say yes to things, even at our workplace, because I want my boss to like me, or I want my HOD to like me, that kind of a thing. So anything he or she asks of me, I will do. But to what end? If you keep saying yes to people, to what end? I personally found that the more you make yourself useful at work, the more work you get. So the more you say, I'm happy to do this, the more they give to you. And that's understandable, because you've proven to them that you are reliable. You've proven to them that you're somebody who's consistent. You've proven to them that you're somebody who they can trust, right? But as an individual, it's okay to be able to get to that point where you've proven to these people that I'm reliable, you can trust me, I will stay consistent, However, you now also need to get to a point where you can then say, you know what, I've taken A, B, and C. Can I take a few steps back and focus on A, B, and C, rather than taking A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Because it doesn't create opportunity for the next person who could possibly, take over that, because you're taking all of it onto yourself. And then by the time you start to fail in certain areas, they start to say, you're incompetent. No, you're not incompetent. The thing is, you've taken on so much that you've not realized that you need to take a few steps back and just focus on the thing. So for me personally now, I don't just take things on board for the sake of taking things on board. I would literally think through, even before I offer to do something, the first 5 minutes in my head, I've literally thought about it. Okay, how is my Mondays like? How is my Tuesdays like? How's my Wednesdays like? Is this something that I can add on to my can't talk. Is this something that I can add on to my Wednesday schedule? If you get what I mean, is this something that I can add on to my weekly schedule? If not, then maybe not. And that's fine. And if I can do it, then of course, is this something that I can add on to my Saturday plan? Yeah, and if not, that's fine. The reason for that is the day you finally say you're not doing it, then you become a problem because you've been doing it for so long. And you finally say, oh, I can't do it today. It's like, you know, that kind of thing is like, how? So yeah. So here I wrote down different ways that one can care for themselves. And one, to exercise, to eat healthy, to take some time to yourself. And I know that these are things that we normally do on a normal day. I, for one, I'm someone who, even though the house can be quiet most times because we're both in doing our different things, and then we reconvene at night and come together as a family, but during the day we're both working and that kind of a thing. So we do have your personal space. There's sometimes where I just want to be on my own and just in my own thoughts and in my own, mental space, like what is going through my head, what is my subconscious doing, what is my conscious doing, that kind of a thing, and just spend time with me. And I think that is really, really important. If you find that you're constantly around people, even if they're good people, it can be like overwhelming, for me anyway. I think as individuals we should be able to have personal quiet time where you're just in your own space. And I personally would like to just put on my earphones, close my ears out, and just focus on what's inside of me. And I find that even God speaks to me that way because I'm probably listening to one worship song that is just so solemn, not so shouty or loud or anything, just solemn tune, and I'm just in my thoughts. Sometimes I've even planned my week by just that 5 minutes, just sitting there and just in my own space, in my own mind, reevaluating things. That person I spoke to, was that okay, the way I spoke to them? Sometimes I plan my YouTube topics there. Sometimes I reflect on sermons I've heard in church, and I'm just like, okay, like how can I make this better in my life, that kind of a thing. So yeah, and to do things that help you relax. And this is where we go back to what I mentioned earlier when I started the video. Things that, for example, things that help me relax is making my hair, doing my nails, doing my makeup. Of recent, I haven't done it yet, I'm going to do it soon, paying someone to cook for me. Who says that you have to cook every single day of your life? Like, what's the point in working and you can't use that money to work for you? You can't make that money work for you. What's the point? So I've told myself things like cooking. I know of a lady in Glasgow here who cooks, and she cooks amazing. Why can't I just pay her? It's not expensive. Less than £100, you have a full pot of soup that you can use for a couple of days. Just pay her to cook something in the house, and pay a cleaner, because it's okay if you've got that kind of lifestyle where you have that flexibility to be able to be at home and clean your house and that kind of a thing. That's fine. For me, the past few weeks, I don't have that flexibility. I haven't done it yet. I'm still cleaning my house for myself, but this is something I'm going to definitely pick up on and begin to do as time goes on. Is to get someone to clean, even if it's just once a month, where they just come in and do that thorough cleaning that you yourself might not be able to do, but that you have the money to do it. Money, I've come to a place where my money needs to be able to work for me. Okay, if I have the luxury of that amount of money, rather than spending the money to order myself food, or do my nails, if I can do my, if I would rather do my nails myself and pay someone to clean my house, for me that's self-care for me, because I probably will enjoy doing my nails more than cleaning the house. You might probably enjoy cleaning your house more than doing your nails. So it works, hand in hand. And it doesn't need to be something I need to sweat for. So if I say, okay, from now till I want someone to come into my house in September, or in December, and from now monthly I can set aside £20. This person is going to charge me £60. Okay, I probably won't be able to afford this person in December, so I'll move it to January. So £20, £20. November, December, and January, I've been able to gather £60. So February, I'm getting someone. So it's not something that I've coughed out of my normal daily expenses. Are different things I've saved aside. So when I bring this person into my house, they're able to help me clean or help me cook, and that way I'm self-caring for myself. I hope you guys are getting me. So what other thing have I put here? I put in here, sometimes we feel guilty when we don't do things when we do things like this for ourselves. There's no need to feel guilty that you paid someone to come into your house to clean. There's no need for that, because that person also needs a job. You're also helping the universe. You're helping this person to feed for that month, the same way you've been employed to, and you're earning money for yourself. It's the same way this person is going to earn money to go home and feed for them. So you're also helping another person. They're helping you, you're helping them. It's easy peasy. When you're in a place where you constantly feel down, you constantly feel low, depressed, that kind of thing, then something has to change. Then that means something around you is weighing you down. It could be your workplace, it could be a relationship, it could be the environment that you're staying in. Sometimes I remember I used to stay in an environment that used to be so noisy, and I would have come back from work so exhausted, and I'm trying to sleep, and my neighbors are at it. The noise is just crazy. Policemen have been called to them over and over again, and it just won't help. And I had to move. I just had to move, and as soon as I moved, things changed for me. I was a lot more calmer. I will come back from work, and I know as soon as I go into my bedroom, it's peace and quiet. I'm someone who can, for like the slightest noise around me, I'm awake. So for me, being able to get full night's sleep without a disturbance was everything. And the fact that these people were not permitting that to happen for me, I had to move. So when you're in a position where you feel like you're down, something is just not right, this is where you now need to go back into your own quiet place that I talked about earlier, and just reevaluate what is it that could be putting you in this position right now that is making you feel this down, this depressed, this low, this unhappy, this sad. And if you're able to figure it out, because sometimes we're able to figure it out ourselves, if you're able to figure it out, then what can you do to change that? Can you change it? If it's a relationship, if it's somebody that is not making you happy, can you leave? Is it something that you can leave? If you're not married, then yes, you can leave. Even if you're married, okay, that's something you probably need to seek advice from another. But if he's not married, if he's still in a relationship, he hasn't put a ring on your finger, it's not too late to pick your bags up and exit, because your happiness is more important. You will be able to do more good to people when you're happy. And I find that let me give you guys a quick example. I used to think that I'm somebody that is so timid, so to myself, a big introvert, someone who won't who will be the last person to say something in a group of people. And now that I'm in a place where I'm okay-ish, it doesn't cost me anything to say hello to the next person, because I'm in a good place. I'm happy. And happiness is not because some people be like, oh, of course now you're married. Happiness is something that you have to intentionally work on. It doesn't have to be because you have a car, then you're happy. It doesn't have to be because you just bought a house, then you're happy. Because the moment the car starts to misbehave, what happens? Does that mean your happiness, disappears? So when I found that I've got to a place where I was happy, I personally was happy, then it didn't cost me anything. It did not cost me anything to say hello to the next person. Not that I wasn't saying hello before, but somebody else might have said, oh, she's such a grumpy person. But no, it's just because I had a lot. I was overwhelmed. I was stressed. Things, maybe it was work or it was relationship or whatever. I was just overwhelmed. And now that I've been able to balance, and it doesn't cost me anything. If you're about to stress my life, if you're about to cost me unnecessary stress that I personally feel I do not deserve, there's the door. It doesn't cost me anything these days. I filter as much as possible. If you're somebody who's constantly being negative around me, I filter. And I don't need to say to you personally that, oh my God, I'm going to filter you, because no. It's between me, myself, and I personally know that I filtered you. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop talking to you. Doesn't mean I'm going to not pick your call when you call me, but I know that I filtered you. So now I'm in control of what you say that gets to me. Period. So I'm going to share some things that I've done personally, self-care that I've done till date. And one is, I used to be that person who the first thing I would check when I wake up is my social media app. I don't do that anymore. And the very first thing that I know that has helped me not to do this anymore is just moving that app to the next page, not the first thing I see in the morning. I moved it. Second thing I did is investing time in podcasts or things for learning's sake, which I've already talked about. Just Me As podcast is one that I'm really enjoying just now. Breathing and taking a break. This is something that I also started to do. If you guys notice, I've not been on social media for almost 3 to 4 weeks, and the reason for that is because I needed to take a break from social media. A lot was going on social media. If you guys know, if you guys watch, especially like if you're following a lot of Nigerian Instagram accounts, a lot was going with like Nigerian celebrities and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, these are people that I used to be so interested to know what's happening, but I was like, to what end? How is that going to be beneficial to me? How is that increasing the amount of money going to my account? And how is that helping me mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally? No. So yes, I deleted some Nigerian Instagram account. I was saying things, and anything I see that I like and I think it's funny, I would share, but I wasn't personally creating content. And I felt like that was a mind detox for me, because I wasn't seeing evil, I wasn't speaking evil, and I wasn't hearing evil. So my mind was in a place of detox, pure detox, right? Not that social media is a place of evil, not that I usually say anything evil, but you can easily be you can easily become something that you constantly allow yourself to see or hear or think or watch. And that's something I just needed to move it a bit, like just, yeah, I don't want this in my life right now. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to say it. Okay. So, and I had to do those things. Re-strategizing my finances, plans, and goals. So this is something that was very key to me. I'm somebody that likes to have unrealistic financial goals. Like sometimes when I sit down and look at it, I'm just like, how are you going to achieve this that you've just written down? You know yourself, based on what is coming in and what is going out, there's no way you're going to be realistic about this. And because of our kind of job, you can pick up an extra shift anytime, and I'll tell myself, oh, that's my goal, because when I pick up this extra shift, when I do this 2-3 jobs, I'll be fine, I'll be able to gather this money. Yes, and sometimes it worked, but then I find that I'm becoming overwhelmed. I'm working myself up, where then I can't rest, even when even when I'm like supposed to be resting, I'm not resting, because I'm thinking about how to make the next money so I can meet that goal. I'm like, to what end? To what end? Girl, you're not even 30 yet, and they say life begins at 40. Okay, so there's people, I've seen people at age 38, age 40, just picking up their lives, and they're achieving everything that they're supposed to achieve from age whatever. Is it good to start early? Yes, but don't put unrealistic pressure on yourself. So now, I save what I can save. I spend what I think is decent to spend. I pay my bills. If I've then got extra time, like when I have my annual leave and I think, okay, I want to go out and earn a little more money, I will. But just working yourself up, working yourself 24/7, just constantly working. To what end? If the body drops down today, what is going to be said of you? She was a workaholic. I would hate to be remembered as that. Just somebody who works, and someone who didn't give, who didn't invest in people, invest in herself, in different. I want to be known as somebody who worked, but also knew how to live life, enjoy herself. If I want to stand up and go into the movies, I should be able to get up and go into the movies and not be feeling, oh, that money that I just used to spend to watch that movie, I should have used it to. If I saved that money would have added into this. And then life. You only live once. Self-care doesn't end. There's no start to it and there's no end to it. You just have to keep putting in effort, keep putting in the work. When I'm 50, I want to look like I'm 20. Because it starts now. I'm not saying me sitting here telling you this is not that. Oh, I'm already doing all of this, because it's a process. I don't just want to do mine for the sake of having a flat tummy. I want to do mine for the sake of having an overall healthy space, an overall healthy life, mentally healthy, physically healthy, spiritually healthy. That's it for this video. I hope you guys have been able to pick 1 or 2 things from different things I've shared today. So if this is your first time watching my videos, welcome once again. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I hope that you are moved to subscribe. If you are, please do. If not, don't worry. We will surely turn you to a member of our little community. But you guys know that I love you, and I will see you again in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I love you guys. Bye.